Dude, that's all right. You know, if I can't, I don't know why you can't see me.
Yeah. Let me try the YouTube link just to see if what I see on that.
It's still saying offline for some reason. There you go. It's you now. You're on there. You're
Okay.
on. But all you can see is my icon, and it's not picking up my image.
Yeah.
It's on here. It is. There's a big delay here. And
Yeah.
all you can do is see you, right?
Yeah, on Skype.
Yeah. What about the? Go on the site.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there. Hold on. Yeah, I see you're on there. We're both on there.
You can see me. You can
I
see.
can.
You can
Well,
see the
yeah.
icon.
On no, on actually on.
Now you're off. You there, Rick?
Yeah, yeah. Let me.
You're off of Skype. Hold it.
Yeah.
I'll get you back.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it is. This shit drives me fucking nuts, man. You don't know what I have to go through with this.
I can imagine, man. I know how this stuff is.
You're not even on my list there. Now, how did that happen? Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I think they upgraded Skype recently.
I can see you
Okay,
on the
good.
site. Wait a minute. You still can't see me.
I can see you on. It's funny, man. I can see you
Skype?
on YouTube, but not on Skype.
Can you see? Well, you're not going to see me on Skype. Can you see my hand moving up and down?
No.
All you see is my drum pad, right?
Yeah.
All right. If worst case scenario, that's what's going to have to be.
Okay. Well,
It,
that's cool.
it just
Well,
says because there's a camera off here
as long as I
on
can.
your end. See on your
No,
picture?
no. I'm actually my camera is on,
Yeah, but
and
I'm saying I'm receiving it as off the camera.
well, push it.
I
See what
am. I've been
happens.
pushing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that's crazy.
It is, man. The volume range, the mic is on, speakers are on. What is this? Hold on. Sound, microphone.
Yeah. Well, let me turn my camera off for a second and see what happens.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, nothing
Okay.
happened. Nothing happened except you're standing still. Well, you're still on the site.
Am I frozen though?
No, not on the site. Well, now you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
wait a minute. You see where it says the camera icon? You
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
slash through it?
No. Well, now it's on. I just turned it back on. It was on before,
Yeah, okay.
and
All
it
right,
was
so
always.
all you're
Yeah.
going to do is hear my voice and I'm going to see you.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be
All
all
right.
right.
All right.
All right, so what I'm going to do, Rick, is I'm going to turn it off right now. And,
Okay.
there's you're on the site itself?
No, I'm staying off of the site because there was a big delay on there.
All right, stay off the site then.
I'm just on Skype.
Because there is a chat there. And I'm going to leave you on Skype. I got to
Okay.
find out why this happened.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see me walking around?
Yeah, I can see you everything. You're very clear. Let me
Yeah.
hit the
Okay.
drum pad. Let me see what you do on the drum pad.
Yeah. Okay.
There is a delay, big delay on that.
Yeah. Okay.
But it sounds nice. What kind of drum pad is that?
It's an old real feel. It's a
Yeah.
real old one. It's a real old one though.
All right, let me just see. Extensions, outputs. What does it say? All right.
That is.
It,
Yeah. That is so weird because my camera is showing that I'm on.
yeah, you're on. I see you. I'm trying to
Okay.
look
That is so weird.
at. Yeah. It always happens to me. The story of my life.
You've been doing this a long time, man. You should have it together.
Yeah, a long time. Every time something else happens, it's like a learning experience.
Yeah, I know, man.
You know? All right, I got to turn your volume up. You got to. Well, maybe that's why you have headphones in. Yeah, you have headphones on, right?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, right. I got. Yeah, yeah.
So you can't see me, which is all right.
I can see only your Skype icon.
You can see what the drum pads.
No, I'm just looking at Skype now, not the YouTube site.
And you call? Do you call me? Call me.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna call you back on Skype.
Go ahead. Okay, you're on.
Yeah, you're not.
All right. I don't know what's wrong with that, man.
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird. But anyway, it's cool. It's all good.
All right. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to take offline and go back. Now you're offline. What happened? Oh,
I'm still showing mine is on.
Yeah. Okay. But you got smaller. All right. That's cool. I'm going to turn it off. Okay, and then we're going to start from the beginning because this is being you're on Skype there.
Yeah. Okay.
This is going to be it's all being recorded.
Okay.
All right, Rick. So
Okay.
we'll start all over again. Okay, you should be online any second.
All right.
I just told them we're having some issues.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll work it out.
No problem. I'm here.
All right, hold on. Oh, mercy, Lord be. The computer's not doing what I want it to do.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
They can see you. Let me see if we could get this going on first, all right?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see what they're doing.
Shoot it up there.
Yeah. All right, let me go on the other computer. You're not going to see me. Sorry about that, Rick. Okay. Okay, gentlemen. I hope everybody can hear me. Give me some help here.
Yeah. Okay.
Not you,
Yeah.
Rick.
I'm great. I'm
All
great,
right.
man. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California.
Don't make me. They can hear. They can hear us.
Okay.
All right. Can we all see everybody? I'm trying to get a better focus on Rick.
Yeah. I can see me. I still can't see you, but that's okay. I can
You know,
hear you.
I'm ugly. I'm ugly anyway.
Well, I knew that.
Be nice. Okay. They all can see us. They all can hear us. I guess they can see me too. Maybe you can for some reason.
I cannot. Can you show me the that YouTube feed again?
The what?
You once had the YouTube feed on Skype. I could see before.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, but no problem. We can continue like this. It's all right.
Yeah, we can. I just have the other computer so they could see. I can see the what you call. There you go. That's good, but you don't have to see me. I'm ugly.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me see if I get you bigger. Ah. It'll work. It'll work this way. It's a good
Okay.
picture. Okay. Welcome, Rick.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thanks, Matt.
Hey, thanks for taking all this time out, man.
Yeah. No problem. No problem.
Well, we got a full house here. My goodness. You must be
That's-
very popular.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, right. And I don't know. I just invited you today because of your popularity and your great drumming, obviously,
Well, thank you, man.
and what you do and who you've been with and your books, and it's all about the groove. So we're gonna talk about all that stuff if you don't mind.
Okay.
But before we do anything, just give us a little bit of a background on Mr. Rick.
Sure, man. Well, I was born in Columbia, South Carolina, man. Originally from Columbia, South Carolina. Southern guy. That's the reason for my accent.
I would never know. I would never know that.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny, man, because some people back home say I lost my accent.
I don't think so.
yeah, that's really funny, man. Yeah, originally from Columbia. I started playing when I was 12 years old, and initially self-taught. I was really into, at that time, the Carson Show was really big. Johnny Carson, Tonight Show. I would always see Buddy on there, and Louie, Ed Shaughnessy, and I was really into Buddy Rich at that time. I was taking band in high school, junior high school, and high school. Really into the marching thing, rudimental stuff, and became interested in drum set. And again, Buddy was a huge influence at that time. And from high school, went on to high school marching band. Like I said, there was a very good marching band in my school, Brooklyn Casey High School in Columbia. And Brooklyn Casey had like the state champion marching band for many, many years. And it was really kind of prestigious to be in a marching band, which was really kind of different at that time. I was also playing basketball. I'm a tall guy, as some people know, and I used to be a lot skinnier. And so I go ahead, man.
That's because you're in Italy now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I used to do a lot of sports, run track and pole vault, high jump, all that stuff. And actually, after school, man, I had actually a basketball scholarship and a music scholarship.
All right.
To go to school, and an opportunity to study with some great guys. And I chose music, and my coach was really pissed off. But I went to East Carolina University, man, a great music school in Greenville, North Carolina, and studied with Harold Jones, the white Harold Jones, not the black Harold Jones. Okay. Yeah, everybody gets that confused sometimes. But Harold is a very well-known percussionist in that part of the country, and a really great. He was a big, very active in PAS, and we learned many, all the classical great pieces. I played multi-percussion. I learned mallets from Harold, played marimba, xylophone, vibes, multi-percussion, timpani. I used to love all that stuff. And went on to get a performance degree in percussion. I was still playing drum set, but it was funny that Harold, was totally like legit percussion guy. So he had a drum set in his office, and I was like maybe one of the only guys that ever played it. I would go in and play before my lesson. But he was just such a great player, man, a real mentor of mine. He just taught me great technique and great musicality. And I went on to play with the symphony orchestra and the jazz band and stuff. Had a great jazz band director too, George Broussard at East Carolina at that time. He was a trombonist, a great trombone player. So we had an opportunity to play with, like a lot of great guys, a lot of great musicians we would have as guest soloists and stuff with the jazz band. So after East Carolina, 4 years of undergraduate school, I applied for a teaching assistantship and got a scholarship to go to North Texas. So that was really incredible experience. North Texas State at that time, now called the University of North Texas. But as everybody knows, the lab band at North Texas, one of the most well-known jazz programs in America. And I think the first school to have a jazz degree actually was North Texas. But there I was working on my master's for 2 years, and actually that's where I started working on the Advanced Funk Studies book. And I actually was taking percussion lessons from Robert Shatroma, who was the head of the department at that time, and Ron Fink, another great percussionist, drummer. I studied timpani and mallets with both of those guys. Mallets more with Shatroma. And then I was taking drum set lessons with Jim Hall, who was an ex 1 O'Clock lab band drummer that had come back to the school to teach. And also Henry Oxdale was another great teacher there at that time. And, that was a great experience, man. Like a lot of guys don't really realize that I was really classically trained and used to play mallets and all that stuff more than drum set. I always played drum set like outside of school to make money and play gigs and stuff. So, after North Texas, I, started playing around, lived in Dallas for a while. I had some gigs with B.B. King. I met Chuck Rainey. Chuck Rainey moved to Dallas. I started playing with Chuck Rainey. And then a few years later, I just decided to move to either New York or L.A. It was funny, and I chose L.A. because at that time, this was 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. New York is great. I love New York, had a lot of friends here. And, LA both, it was either like, did I want to be a kind of a jazz guy or a pop guy? And I felt that I was more of a pop guy, So I chose LA because it just seemed like more opportunities to hook up with touring acts and stuff like that. So I chose LA and was able to meet some great players and turned on to a lot of great gigs and worked with Quincy Jones on a couple of movies and Sidney Poitier directed. So I was meeting, some great artists in every field, actors, musicians, directors, producers, and went on to play with Edgar Winter. I toured with Edgar and recorded 3 CDs with Edgar. I toured with him for almost 10 years. And then most recently, before deciding to go to Europe and live in Europe more, work in Europe more, I was touring with Juice Newton, country pop singer who had several #1s, and toured with Juice for almost 10 years. So that kind of brings us up to date now, and I'm, still working here in LA a little bit, but I'm living mostly in Italy, Milano, Italy. And I have a great trio there, some Italian guys, Ruggero Robin, guitar, and Nicola Sorato plays bass. And both of those guys have played with many great Italian artists. And it's a great band. So we tour, and I'm still doing clinics all around the world. I just got back from China. I'm teaching at a school also, a great little school in Torino, Italy, about an hour away from Milan, called the X4M Perform School for Musicians. And that's a great school with, contemporary music school, guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, voice. So, and I'm still playing, doing sessions and, working with other artists. So that's, in a nutshell, that's my life story.
That's a lot of things going on.
Yeah. So,
one thing, we have a relative here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, who was that one teacher, Mr. Hall? What was his name?
Jim Hall?
Yeah, well, we have his nephew here.
Okay.
That's Tim Hall.
Okay.
So everybody get up and bow.
All right. Great. Is he online?
Yeah, he's right here in the chat.
Okay, cool.
So, anyway, I just wanted you to know. And like Italy, I was there for a while.
Yeah.
And I was in Milan, and,
Uh-huh.
Treviso, and Venice, and all that good
Sure.
stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about going back.
It's great, man.
Yeah,
You know,
there's a lot more work there too.
well, it's it's interesting, Matt, because I mean, I love America, man, but it's just as a musician, we're always, especially a self-employed musician, and currently not touring with another artist or something. You have to make your own stuff happen. So it's just, I call it. There's just more opportunities available, and Italy. Milan is right geographically in the center of Europe. That's why I chose Milan, and I like Milano. But I can go easily to Germany, Switzerland, Austria,
France,
Poland, France, Spain, the UK. All of these countries are only an hour or two by flight away.
That's great. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were mentioning you're doing a lot of clinics.
Yeah.
If ever you come to the East Coast, you're going to have to do one for me.
I would love to come there, man. I see guys in there all the time. It looks like a great little studio that you have.
It is. And, we could talk about that another time, but as long as I know that you would like to do one, that's great.
Sure. And I've got some things planned on the East Coast. I'll tell you more about that later. We could talk offline,
That's absolutely great.
I would love to do that, and I still love, I've been endorsing, like the companies that I endorse, I've been playing all of these instruments for a very long time. DW, Istanbul Mehmet, Promark, Evans, and they're very supportive, man. They're very good. They're very good, and I want to give them a little plug,
Absolutely.
And and also this beautiful drum here. I think you can see it in the picture. This is by Up Drums in Italy. This is my signature Apex snare drum. This is a very new product that, not to do a big sell on that, but I'm just saying it's a really beautiful drum, and you can go online and check that stuff out. But yeah, I still like to do clinics. A lot of people. It's funny, man, that I kind of got into this. Everybody thinks I'm a teacher, which is okay. I am a teacher, but I'm a drummer. I was a drummer, a player first. I didn't really set out to necessarily write, a book or anything like that. It just the funk book just kind of happened. And while I was at North Texas, those guys really encouraged me to write it, to write the book, because everybody at that time was really into that linear stuff, Garibaldi and Gadd. And man, at North Texas at that time, Matt, there were like 300 drum set majors, Yeah, this place was fucking incredible, man. It was really, really crazy, I'm telling you. And they had 3 practice buildings, 3-story buildings, three-story buildings, only for drum set guys that they built.
Really?
Drum set practice rooms. Unbelievable.
A lot of noise ordinances.
Oh, man. Well, it was all soundproof and cool, but you could walk down the hall, man. And I was there. I was working on my master's degree, only there for a couple of years. But when I was there, man, Kurt Covington was there, Greg Bissonette was there, Brad Dutz was there, a great percussionist living here in L.A., Randy Drake, another great drummer, Ray Brinker, great player. And, North Texas had so many great guys go through there, just really incredible.
Ed Soak was there as well?
Ed Soak was not there at that time, but I know Ed, and Ed is back there now.
Yeah.
Actually, he's retiring next year, I believe. But Ed, great drummer too, man.
Absolutely.
Great drummer. But he's been back there for several years. But see, I left in '79. I was only there '77 to '79. So a lot of great players, man, of all instruments. But what I was going to say is you could walk down any of those halls in the practice room, and you would hear a guy that sounded like Tony. You would hear a guy playing like Elvin. You would hear a guy playing like Gadd. You would hear, just a Latin guy in this room. I mean, it was like intense,
What if you heard somebody playing like you?
Yeah, well, there was somebody. It was me. It was me, But it was funny, man. We used to stand outside. People would put like paper over the little window in the practice room. So sometimes you didn't know who it was. But people would be standing outside, like listening, like, who the fuck is this guy? Who's this? So it was cool, man. A great experience, really.
It must have been a fun time for you.
It was a great time, man. And I really encourage guys to study. Everybody maybe not meant to be a college student, and go to for their master's degree or doctorate or whatever. But I think it's really important for drummers to study the craft. I think it's great that you have these sites called, the art of drumming. Because it is an art, man. It's not all about just going out and buying a double pedal and playing as fast as you can. Which I think a lot of guys do today. Which is nothing wrong with like metal and double bass. Don't get me wrong, but the art form is something that I think we really need to preserve and also perpetuate, and teach guys,
I'm trying.
Yeah, the history, rudiments, history of the drum set. This is all important, I used to play so many styles, when I was in school, I learned how to play shows and read books, read a book, go in and sight read a show or a big band. I was really a big band fanatic, man. I was a big band freak, and I really consider myself a really good big band player. Because I did a lot of that at East Carolina and then also at North Texas. But and I can read really good, so that helps, And kicking a big band, as you probably know, is different, than playing in a small group, So these are things that a lot of young guys don't really get or understand, and it's I think it helps with your musicality and everything, not only just licks and speed, but understanding, being a musical drummer,
Well, I always emphasize to my students they should take like piano. Piano is where it all comes from.
Piano. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, man. Piano was my second instrument in school. In both of those schools, I studied piano as my second instrument also.
All right, that's why you play so well.
Well, thanks.
One of the things.
I write a lot too. I write music and have a little studio and stuff. So, I think that is good. I think it is good for guys to have some other, like harmonic kind of influence, melodic and harmonic knowledge as well as rhythmic drumming.
I just made a statement before about you must have really had a happy time, and when you were at the college. But isn't that one of the ingredients of learning to be happy what you do?
Sure, man. I think I really am so thankful every day that I can do this for a living. Sometimes
it's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's the only thing I can do. I tell my wife all the time, I'm a drummer, not a plumber. so don't call me to fix this.
That's a good one, man. I like that.
Man. Yeah, man. I even wrote a song about it a couple years ago, man. But I call a professional for the sync, man. Don't call me. I hate doing that stuff.
We got a question for you, Rick.
Yeah, okay, go.
And that's from your the nephew, Tim Hall.
Okay.
He wants to know, with all the traveling that you do, how do you keep up your chops?
Well, playing a lot.
That's exactly, yeah. Okay.
I mean, playing is the best thing, man. And also, I sit in a hotel room if I have time. A lot of times I don't have time to just sit and practice, but sit and play. Little things, but playing, I play every day. I either play the pad or play the drum set every day. So, when I travel, it's usually for work. So, once I get to wherever I'm going, I set up, have a sound check, play, do the gig. Next day, maybe do the same thing again. It's just like being on tour. Sometimes you don't have as much control over it, and I don't have as much time to really practice as I would like, but just play, some guys practice too much and they never play, you know what I'm saying?
And they sound like a book when they play.
Right. It sounds like they're practicing when they play. Exactly.
I know, when I was playing 6-7 nights every week for years, I did a lot of practicing besides, but my chops were out there, man. I said, wow. and that's
Sure.
from playing. And my advice to anybody, any opportunity, any chance you can get to play.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether you think you can hit it or not.
And play anything. Play things that, my advice is to play things that you don't know very well so you can learn it, like go into a situation, and try to play, find some friends or something. If you're not a jazz guy, try to play some jazz. At least try to get some exposure to it,
Well, that's how I learned. I would go to how many beatings I took. It was unbelievable mentally.
Yeah.
I go to a gig. I go
sit in.
Yeah, and I don't know the name of the tune.
Yeah.
And I said, uh-oh. And then I'll tell you what it did for me was I'd go home and just hum that tune, listen to that tune all week long, and go back to the jam session and do it again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Next time you go back and say, hey, let's play that tune that I sucked on last time. I'm gonna play that. Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I think we've all been there.
Let's talk about your books.
Okay.
I'm going to try to get them. Wait a minute. I'm going to try to get them up on the screen.
Well, I got copies right here. I just happen to have.
There you go. You see it on the screen?
Okay.
They're going to come up.
Here's Advanced Funk Studies, and here's Contemporary Drum Set Techniques. There you go.
And I got the DVD there. It's all about the groove.
All about the groove is the DVD actually is kind of my overall kind of concept of what I like to teach guys, a little bit of hand stuff, how to apply it to the drum set, and again how to create contemporary grooves. I'm growing up in the South, man. I started playing with a lot of black guys in that area at that time, and I was really into soul music. They call it soul music down there. It's really different.
I was down there for a year. I know.
Yeah. It's different than like R&B and soul. Old soul music. Really killer stuff, man.
There you go.
Do you like good music?
No singing, please. I'm only kidding. Anyway, I was in Savannah, Georgia for over a year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure, man.
And I was in the Army band, but after the Army band was over, man, you had gigs off post. And we're talking up in the woods there and all that good stuff. And that's where it was happening.
Really great.
Great music. Really, great experience.
Yeah, man. That whole thing, the South, New Orleans, that whole thing. I mean, Detroit has its own thing. Chicago blues, but the South, man, was cool because I was a very young age playing soul and real like R&B back then, Yep. And then also getting hip to jazz and stuff from when I went to school. Like those guys turned me on to all the great bands at that time. A lot of the big bands were doing like rock stuff, like remember like Maynard Ferguson's band,
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that, even Stan Kenton. I mean, a very, traditional guy, but he got very modern, and then Peter Erskine playing with him back then was a killer, and also Maynard Ferguson. A lot of those big bands. Don Ellis, I don't know if you remember Don Ellis.
I remember all of them. I'm an old guy, man.
Yeah. No. We're just experienced, man.
Well, I'm still old, though. Anyway, let's get back to your books.
Yeah. So anyway, that all that stuff kind of influenced me. So when I wrote the books, I wanted to kind of, try to figure out a way to explain it to guys, like what was happening. And at that time, again, the linear thing was really popular. So I really understood that linear thing. Being had such a great background in marching percussion, I actually started the drum line at North Texas, which is now one of the most killer drum lines in the academic circles, man, in college drum lines. But I could really understand the linear thing, especially like the Steve Gadd stuff, because Gadd had a big, military and rudimental background, studied with John Beck, classical stuff. So this was kind of easy for me to understand. The Garibaldi thing too, I was very into that, and his linear approach. was very interesting to me, and I could understand it, you know. So I started transcribing a lot of this stuff, and then, like I said, the teachers at North Texas, a lot of the guys, I would go in for a lesson and say, "Hey, check this lick I transcribed out," and you know, it'd be something from Leprechaun, you know, Chick Corea or something, and they said, "Man, you should write a book with this stuff," you know. And at that time, there were really not too many contemporary drum books out, you know, on contemporary stuff.
Well, the Haskell Hart book was.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm only kidding.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Haskell Hart, yeah, Ludwig Beppet, and but of course, we all had Stick Control and the Chapin book. But I wanted to do something like the Chapin book for contemporary drumming. Okay. And it's funny, man. That's a lot of people kind of have called me the Jim Chapin of funk, you know, which is cool. That's okay with me. Jim was a great guy and a great friend, and that was such a milestone book, man, that he came out with, you know. And I just wanted to have kind of a system to show guys how to get into this linear concept. So that's how the books kind of came about. And man, I published them myself. I actually did every note in this book by hand. A lot of guys don't know that, but if you look at this book, there was no software at that time, man. I did every fucking note with a pen and a ruler in this book. So, you know, that was a labor of love for sure.
Absolutely. You did a great job, man.
And well, thanks, man. And, you know, it came out at the right time, being in the right place, the right time, perfect example. And, you know, a lot of guys, Louis Belson was a very big advocate for my book, man. He really loved it. And, you know, a lot of great guys, you know. It was great to talk to Steve Gadd about it, you know. And, you know, Peter Erskine, Harvey Mason, all the guys that I have transcribed their stuff. You know, later on I met them, you know. And a lot of guys gave me great endorsements on the book, you know, because there was really nothing out. So that helped a lot. That really helped it become more known. So it just kind of took off from there. It was unbelievable. I had no idea. I mean, it's been now over 35 years, and it's still used all around the world, which is very gratifying and humbling. You know, I really appreciate everybody that has used the books. If you're online, thanks a lot. And you know,
I teach other books.
Well, thanks, man.
And let me tell you, it's like the first time I heard you talking.
Yeah.
You know, I said, but this guy's got to be from Alaska.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's so obvious, and that's okay because I mean, you got a lot of soul. You have great information in those books, absolutely, and it progresses, in my opinion, correctly.
Well, thanks. That was one thing that I think that helped the books be so popular because they do. You know, I did have a great background with some great teachers, and I studied, so I kind of had an idea of how I thought a book should progress. And thanks for saying that because I think that is one of the things that make the book so accessible to everybody. A lot of young guys use the book too, and a lot of older guys. Excuse me. So I think that's a great compliment. I appreciate that, and I think that's one of the things that I think guys should really think about. You know, a lot of people want to write books and stuff, and there's a lot of great books out there. But, you know, really think about having some kind of, not just write all your personal great licks and stuff, but something that makes sense, you know, a logical progression to go through the book.
Well, what I see with that is how you add on and add on and add on.
Right.
You don't drop the 9 yards on page 1.
Yeah.
And how you develop it. I think you did a heck of a job, man.
Well, thanks, man.
And a lot of, you know, about the groove. That's a great one, man, because I get a lot of guys come to me and say, can you teach me how to groove? Or I see a lot of advertisements say, I can teach you how to groove. And I have to laugh.
Yeah.
I have to laugh at that. Because the way I feel about that, Rick, is that, you know, I can break something down for you. Like you, for example, a pattern from your book.
Yeah.
But who am I to tell you where to use it? And how to use it?
How to use it.
The music is the only thing that's going to teach you to groove.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right, man. Playing with guys, playing with live guys.
Absolutely.
Not. I mean, listen, play-alongs are great, and drum tracks, play-alongs and stuff. But play live, because a play-along is the same every time. It ain't gonna be like that live, It ain't gonna be like that live.
I know that, but it still has, in a way, though. It's more than what I had when I was learning.
Sure. No, it is great, man. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it is great. Play-alongs are great.
But I mean, it's something. If a guy lives in Nebraska in the middle of nowhere and he can't go nowhere, he's got something to play with.
Yeah. No, it's important.
You know who speaks highly of you? And I think you're gonna like this. Other than David Garibaldi.
Yeah, who's that?
Mike Clark.
Oh, Mike is great, man. I love Mike, and he was a big influence too, man. Mike is a monster drummer, as you know. You know Mike very well.
He comes here a lot.
He's a great guy, man. He came to my studio here in LA a couple years ago. We had a great day, man, hanging out and stuff, and that was really great, man. He's a great drummer, and that does mean a lot to me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you how it happens. We're hanging out, working some things out on the drum kit. And we're talking about Lenny White and, a few other guys.
Yeah.
And I mentioned your name. And it looked like he was frightened.
Yeah.
He goes, man, that guy can play.
Thanks, man.
I think that was real nice of Mike. Because Mike's, if you know Mike too up front, right?
Yeah.
And he's a typically honest person.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll tell you what he feels.
Yeah, brutally honest sometimes.
Well, that's me.
Yeah.
I back up on that though.
Yeah. No, that's cool though. Mike is great, man.
Yep.
And he was very complimentary when he was here, man. And we had a great time hanging out and talking about stuff, how to create these grooves, and how he came up with some of that great stuff that he's known for, and it was great, man. Very mutual admiration, really great.
What I was trying to do, Rick, actually, I'm new to this live broadcasting with Skype. But for me to do lessons, it's not a problem.
Yeah, right.
But to talk like we're doing, I'm trying to still find a way. I could put videos, and I could put your YouTube videos on here.
Right.
You playing or tunes, and I'm trying to learn how to do that. And I really tried. I must have spent 5 hours today doing that.
Oh yeah.
So I try for everybody, man.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool, and I appreciate you asking me to do this, man. And it's good, I'm sure that all this technical stuff too, man. Again, I'm a drummer, not a plumber. I'm not a very technical guy sometimes. Even in my studio, man, this stuff gets crazy sometimes.
Well,
but
I'll tell you, man, it's like I love all the drummers here, and this is absolutely great. And I have an opportunity to bring guys like you on YouTube so the world could talk to you.
Sure. Well, do we have some questions, man? Can we take some questions?
Let me see what we got. Hold on.
I don't know if that's if guys are.
Somebody's getting an echo. Just Matt, not Rick. All right, I'm talking to. All right, there's no question. But let me ask. Any questions, gentlemen?
Yeah. Anybody have some questions? Please feel free to ask questions.
How long you been with DW, Rick?
Oh man, over 30 years, maybe 35 years.
That's a long time. I've been dealing with Jules.
Jules?
From DW. She is, man, she's great. She's really great to deal with.
Yeah, Jules does a lot of the clinic preparation and stuff, the educational kind of stuff.
I've been on with those guys for I don't know how long, with not just DW, with Remo, with Sabian, with Zildjian, with Pleisty, with Evans. Evans is good.
Yeah.
The Dario.
I love all those guys, man. And Promark, I was with Promark for a long, long time. Herb Brockstein and Maury and Pat Brown was here before Dario bought the company. And man, I've been with Promark for a long time, and it was great to have them want to make my signature stick, which they did. That's been probably 25 or 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well.
So this is all. It's great to have great relationships with the companies, and I can't say enough about like Garrison at DW, man, John Good, Don all the guys out there, they really support me really well, and the guys in Europe are doing a great job. The DW distributor in Italy, they all help out. The Evans guys, the Promar guys. It's that boy Mehmet. Like I said, man, I love the cymbals, and I love Mehmet. I think the best living cymbal maker, man. He's been there for a long time, you know. He's been there making those Istanbul cymbals that everybody wants.
Well, Mike Clark uses them too.
Yeah.
And I played on his cymbals, and they're nice.
They're great, man.
Really?
I mean, it's old school. It's old school stuff that everybody tries to copy, and he's the guy that made them. When he was a kid, he worked in the factories, and Mehmet's a great man, and it's a very good company. I get great support from them, and they make great cymbals. And I use all the stuff because I like it.
Yep.
All the companies make great stuff, man. All the major companies, cymbals, drums, drumsticks, they all make good stuff. It's what you feel best with, and what you have the best relationship with. It's not all about the money. A lot of guys, I get students all the time asking me, "Hey man, can you help me get a DW endorsement?" And I go, "Well, no." What are you going to do for them, man? That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
It's everybody wants an endorsement nowadays. That's really crazy.
Well, I got my things going on now, and I just need some clinic support. Is what I'm trying.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna come to Milan and do a clinic with you.
Yeah. Okay. Good, man.
Anyway,
I got a couple schools, man. I got a couple schools I could turn you on to that might be interesting.
We have a question.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's from Tim Hall, Jim Hall's nephew.
Okay.
And again, he wants to know, in what way did Jim help you or influence your playing?
Yeah. Well, Jim was a great drummer, man, and he's retired now. Still, we keep in touch. He just had a great feel, man, and taught me how to be a little more musical with stuff. He taught me some good kind of big band things too, setting up figures and stuff like that. And also turned me on to some great books, some like four-way coordination. I don't know, you know that book, man, four-way coordination, that Mark Dahlgren?
Absolutely.
Man, that's a killer book. That is a hard book, man.
I put it down after half of it. But I'll tell you what.
It's great.
I'll tell you what happens with that book with me.
Yeah.
That was inspirational to me because it inspired me to take four-way stick control instead of two-dimensional, four-dimensional.
Yeah.
And now I get in a lot of trouble with this because now I refer to four-way coordination as stick control book on steroids.
Yeah. It's great, man. That stuff it was one of the early books I saw with like hi-hat foot substitution.
Absolutely.
Where you're playing the hi-hat with your foot as part of the rhythmic phrase.
Yeah, you definitely have to come here. We got to do this.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's a great book. But Jim turned me on to a lot of great stuff and just was a great player, man. It's great sometimes studying with certain guys, you can't really pinpoint exactly what it is they did for you, but they did a lot just by being with them. No, I don't mean that.
No, really, I agree with you, man.
Just watching the guy play, man, you pick up certain things, And he's a cool guy. We got on outside of school, and that means a lot, man, to a young guy in college. He influenced me a lot, to just be a more musical drummer, I think.
Well, it's like you said before. A lot of these guys, they want to play. They want to put all their chops inside of it, and they eliminate music. That's the thing. They're playing for their notoriety.
Yeah, and listen, there's a lot of guys, man, that are very famous from just being on YouTube.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, that's cool. It's cool in a way, but it necessarily does not make you a great drummer.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
It makes you a well-known drummer. And there's a difference.
You know what? You're absolutely correct. And I happen, I could get into this, but it's your show. And I don't want to be negative to anybody, but man, you're 1,000% correct.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And again, I don't mean anything derogatory by. Listen, I love double bass. I used to have two bass drums, man, two physical bass drums, like when I was 12 years old, you know, and I love that stuff, man. I was killer double bass player, but when everybody started doing the double pedal thing and using it sort of as a crutch, you know, to play fast, I stopped. I really just totally stopped. I don't have a double pedal. I never use one. I've played some double pedal session stuff and some metal tracks before, but I always say learn how to use one before you try two.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, I'm still working on that.
But that's great. A lot of guys like that. They get up on stage, long hair, no shirt, tattoos all over them, and 7 million drums and beating the shit out of them. And it doesn't, to me, make no sense musically.
Well, yeah, sometimes it does work and it sounds good. But like you said, and I'm not saying, again, any style of music I'm not saying anything bad about that or don't mean to be negative, but there's more to drumming than big drums, tattoos, playing fast. And again, I don't have anything against tattoos either. but I'm just saying that's not, it seems like that's a formula now, like let's get a nose piercing and a big ear thing and a tattoo and a big drum set and
I have all that.
Yeah.
Look, Ray, it's getting a little late.
Okay.
But I wanted to do some more with your books, but maybe we could do this again when you get some more time. And
sure.
I get the camera going on.
Anytime. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. And if anybody, I got a little bit of time. I don't know what you're like, but if anybody has some questions, another question or something, I'll be glad to take a couple more questions, whatever.
Let's see.
And the next time we can do some more playing and stuff,
It says here, what are some of the things you are working on now in your own playing?
I'm actually working on some kind of new, I call them kind of new creative grooves that are more Latin influenced currently. That's what I'm working on. And also working on my hands. I'm always doing hand exercises. I love rudiments and putting stuff around the set. But, I always kind of work on the four-way coordination. I try to do more of that, incorporate that into my playing. And not necessarily Latin stuff like most guys like Horacio or somebody like that who is great at doing those things. But just incorporating more Latin flavor into funk kind of things, kind of working on that a little bit.
Well, that's good. I mean, almost fell.
I'm sorry?
I almost fell down on the seat.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So that old age thing sucks, man. It really does.
No.
I had somebody here yesterday. He just got off the road with Michelle Camilio.
Okay.
He played that Latin shit like you wouldn't believe, man. Wow.
Yeah.
And he likes you. He loves you. He said,
"Oh, great."
He wanted to stay, but he's in New York right now, and he said he's probably listening. He's probably watching this. And that was, the guy he's a professor at Berklee College of Music, Mr. Mike Walker. You should investigate this guy, man.
Okay.
And I'll try to get a round table going on here. Mike Clark, Lenny White, this guy called, what's his name, Rick Latham?
Yeah, sounds good.
And David Garibaldi and Steve Smith. Sitting in the room, live, not on YouTube.
Would love to do that, man. Would love to do that.
That's got to be a 3-hour session, and I'll be the referee.
I love all those guys. Yeah. Okay.
All right, we got to get off, Rick.
Okay.
But you know what, man? Thank you so very much. You want to play us out, or you want to do some exercises?
I'll play something out. Yeah, I'll play something out.
No show off now, man.
No. I'll just play a little groove. Okay. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you again next time. And everybody, be sure to check out my Facebook page and email me if you have questions. And I'm always all over the place, so lessons are available.
Where's your email available at? On your Facebook page?
Yeah. My email is on Facebook. It's you can access me anytime.
Okay.
Okay, man. So,
Thank you very much, Rick.
Matt, thank you, man. And all my regards to everybody in New York, man, after this blast yesterday. I hope all your friends are okay and stuff after this bomb.
Yeah,
thing.
they're all right. They're all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, good, man. Okay, I'll play you out.
Okay, go for it.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank
See you
you.
next time.
Thank you so very much, Rick.
All right. Ciao, man.
Have a good day, bro.
Later on.
Okay.